Have you ever felt a pain that seemed to have no medical explanation? A persistent tension in your neck, a heavy feeling in your shoulders, or a dull ache in your back that you can't shake? What if we told you that these pains could be messages from your body, hidden secrets waiting to be revealed? In this story, you will discover that every part of your body is a door to your inner world, and that the pains you feel are not just physical discomforts, but deep signals that demand attention. What are your pains trying to tell you? What is the spiritual meaning of each suffering? By following the path of wisdom of Master Takashi, a Buddhist monk who will lead a group of pilgrims in understanding the mysteries of the body and spirit, you will discover how every pain contains a message of inner healing. And by staying until the end of the video, we will also reveal to you a secret practice passed down by the monks of the Hojo-in temple that you can use to interpret and transform your pain into strength and serenity. So stay until the end. And now, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to know when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. In the peace of the Hojo-in temple, in the mountains of Japan, pilgrims gathered around Master Takashi, a Buddhist monk whose years had enriched them with profound wisdom. It was a serene morning. The sun was just beginning to filter through the trees, and its golden rays seemed to bless that moment of recollection and contemplation. Master Takashi, sitting with his back straight and his hands resting delicately on his knees, looked at the group with eyes full of compassion and serenity. It was an important pilgrimage for many of those present, people who had come from every corner of the country. There were men and women of all ages, each with their own story and their own baggage of suffering and hopes. An elderly woman rubbed her aching neck. A young man hid a grimace of pain in his back, and a couple held hands, visibly tired and burdened by the responsibilities of life. No one spoke, but in their eyes there was a question they all shared. Why did we suffer? Why do our bodies fill with pains that seem to have no explanation? Master Takashi observed the group of pilgrims for a long moment. When he began to speak, his voice was calm, slow, like the course of a river that flows without haste. Each of you has come here in search of peace and answers. You feel pain in your body and often think that it is simply discomfort, signs of age or time, but there is much more. Your pains are messages, secrets that the body holds to guide you toward a deeper understanding. If you would just stop and listen to them, you would realize that each of these pains has something to tell you, and that within each suffering, there is the possibility of an inner healing. The group remained in respectful silence, as if each word of the master were a precious gift. A young woman timidly raised her hand. "Master," she said, "I have suffered from severe headaches for years. I have consulted doctors and healers, but no one can explain the cause to me." Master Takashi looked at her kindly. "My daughter," he replied, "a headache is often a sign of an overloaded mind. Thoughts, worries, fears pile up like clouds in the mind, and the body, to defend itself, creates a barrier, a pain that asks you to stop. Imagine that each thought is a stone and that you carry all these stones in your heart. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable. The master invited her to close her eyes and take a deep breath. Try to imagine each thought that is troubling you, he said, and let it go, one at a time. Take 5 minutes every day to breathe deeply, to free yourself of the stones that weigh down your mind. Over time, you will feel the headache getting lighter, like a fog dissolving in the sun. The young woman nodded, moved, and relieved, as if she had already felt a first glimmer of relief. Takashi continued, turning to a man sitting next to her, who was massaging his neck. You, he said softly, suffer from a constant tension in your neck. This pain is a sign of emotional rigidity. When we hold grudges or disappointments inside, the body responds by tightening, like a rope that is too tight. Often, neck pain indicates difficulty in forgiving someone or accepting a change. The man looked down, clearly struck by the master's words. He confessed that for years he had not been able to forgive his brother for a betrayal. Takashi listened to him attentively, then said, "Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, but letting go of what weighs us down. When you learn to do this, your neck will find relief. Stiffness is a prison of our own making." Another pilgrim, a young father carrying a heavy bag, asked, "What about the pain in my shoulders, Master? Why does it feel like the weight of life is constantly on my shoulders?" Takashi nodded, as if he knew that kind of pain well. The shoulders carry the burden of our responsibilities. When we overburden ourselves, when we try to solve everything ourselves, our shoulders buckle under the weight of expectations. This pain invites you to seek help, to share your burden. It is not weakness, but wisdom to know when to ask for support. Every time you allow someone else to help you, you lighten not only your body, but also your heart. Among those present was an elderly lady with arthritic hands. When Takashi approached her, she smiled sadly and said, "My hands are always stiff and painful, Master. I can't even close them completely." The master looked at her hands, then took them gently in his. Hands, he explained, are a symbol of our ability to take and let go. When we hold on to something, people, ideas, or regrets, our hands harden as if they want to hold on to what we can no longer have. Sometimes healing requires the courage to let go. The woman listened to him in silence, and a light of understanding appeared in her eyes. For a long time, she confessed, I have carried in my heart the regret of a lost love. Perhaps the time has come to let him go. Takashi smiled at her sweetly like a father and said, try every day to visualize what you are holding back. Let the image of that love fade away, like a flower returning to the earth. In time, your hands will become lighter. The master continued to speak of the chest, the back, the legs, every part of the body and its hidden meaning. Chest pain, he said to a man who looked at him sorrowfully, often comes from emotions that we keep trapped. It is a pain that speaks of unhealed wounds, of unspoken words. Opening your heart, allowing yourself to express pain and joy is the first step toward healing. He told the story of an old friend, another monk, who had suffered from chest pain for years, until one day, during a meditation, he burst into tears. Those tears, Takashi said, were the cure his heart was waiting for. Finally, Takashi spoke about the pain in the legs and feet, explaining that they were related to our ability to move forward in life. If you feel stuck, he explained, if the pain holds you back, it is a sign that you are afraid to take the next step. The legs carry our body, they support us, but if there is fear, hesitation inside us, they will suffer. He told of a young man who had visited the temple years before, a young man full of dreams but unable to realize them. He was afraid of failure, Takashi said, and that fear was reflected in his feet, which continued to hurt. When he learned to trust himself, to believe in his path, the pain went away. Now, every step he takes is a step of trust. When he finished, Master Takashi looked at his pilgrims and saw tears and smiles in their eyes. Each word seemed to have untied a knot, to have lightened a burden. The people left the temple, taking with them not only the words of the Master, but a new awareness, that of listening to their body, of welcoming the messages it sent, and of seeing every pain as an invitation to look inside themselves. Now, as promised at the beginning of the video, we reveal to you a secret practice passed down by the monks of the Hojo-in temple to transform your pains into a source of healing. The next time you feel pain, be it a headache, a tension in your back, or a heaviness in your shoulders, sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, letting the breath relax your body. Now ask your pain, what do you want to tell me? Be patient and listen. You may not get an immediate answer, but the simple act of listening and accepting the message will cause your body to begin to relax. Repeat this practice every day, and over time, you will learn to interpret your body's messages and transform pain into a guide to a more balanced and serene life. This is the key that Master Takashi shared with his disciples, listening to the body as a teacher and learning that every suffering is an invitation to know ourselves better. Now, the journey is in your hands.